Okay, there is a full-out war that is breaking out on X between Elon Musk and Gavin Newsom. And this is absolutely critical to the 2024 election. So I don't know if you guys are familiar, but over the past coming months, we have seen like deepfake after deepfake, pretty much using these. This person on July 26th, 2 months ago, he made this video saying Kamala Harris campaign ad parody, right? Well, today, Gavin Newsom, or actually this might have been yesterday, but yesterday or today, Gavin Newsom literally signed a bill to make deepfakes or parodies illegal in the state of California. So you can no longer distribute an ad or other election communications that contain materially deceptive content, including deepfakes. So the reason why this is so important is because obviously, deepfakes or parodies, it's been protected under fair use. It's been protected under the First Amendment, right? We have the ability to speak freely, including parodies. But I don't know if Gavin Newsom is entirely wrong here, because I think right now we're living in a really sensitive time, and technology is progressing in a really fast pace, especially in terms of AI, to where things like this video, like watch, let's play this video real quick. But just as an example, like let's hear this.
I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility of the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist.
So just to be clear, yes, this is a parody. I think it's clear that it's a parody, but I think clear is also subjective, because for me, I know this is a parody because, for one, it absolutely very clearly says parody right here, and I can read. But if this video is to be redistributed, and let's say on Facebook, let's say someone just shares it and they don't know any better, and then those people who watch it also don't know any better, they actually might assume this is true, and they might accept this as reality. And obviously the problem with that is now they start thinking less of Kamala Harris. And it's very clear where I stand here. Like, I'd much prefer if someone were to actually, go read her policies, go actually listen to her interview, listen to her talk. I think that makes sense. So to take her voice and manipulate it in this way, where it is her voice.
I may not know the first thing about
it is her voice, but they were obviously using some sort of voice generator to make her say the things that the creator of this video wanted her to say. And that's a problem. So what Gavin Newsom did is he just, look at this, actually. Where is this? I just saw this video. Yes, look at this. So this was shared by Wokeness, and they said, breaking, Governor Gavin Newsom signs AB 2655, forcing social media sites to ban election-related memes created with AI. So obviously, like we'll share this just for a second. It's only 30 seconds long, but look at this.
There's a lot of deepfakes out there. There's not a lot of disclosure. There's not a lot of labeling. So among the many AI bills that are on the desk are three specific election-related bills.
Do you want to sign some laws?
I just thought, why waste your time with a politician unless they're going to do something for you?
Two are signed, and three are signed.
And this is now official. That is now injunctive relief if you do any of those deepfake election misrepresentations. So that's how easy it is to govern.
Wow. And I love that this person also shared this media piece. They wrote, this is exactly what the law makes an exception for satire, but the state decides which content is satire, right? Now look at this. As used in this section, materially deceptive audio or visual media means an image or audio or video recording of a candidate's appearance, speech, or conduct that has been intentionally manipulated in a manner such that both of the following conditions are met. One is the image or audio or video recording would falsely appear to a reasonable person to be authentic. All right, reasonable person. We're going to go into that again. The image or audio or video recording would cause a reasonable person to have a fundamentally different understanding or impression of the expressive content of the image or audio or video recording than that person would have if the person were hearing or seeing the unaltered original version of the image or audio or video recording. Okay, so now let's move on. I want us to look at this is a website, copyright.gov. Now, this is them talking about actually fair use, what is actually protected. And they wrote, or look at the highlighted portion, Section 107 of the Copyright Act protects the statutory framework for determining whether something is fair use and identifies certain types of uses such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research as examples of activities that may qualify as fair use. So this is the argument that people are making, because parody obviously clearly falls under here, right? It is criticism, it is reporting, it is also teaching, and you could argue that it is, part of some research because you're actually informing people, right? Because although this is a highly deceptive video, which obviously, if you want to watch the whole thing, it'll be all linked up. But there are clips where it does show Kamala Harris actually speaking.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea.
So it is her voice is there. These are her words. No one made her say those words. And so it should be protected, right? That's kind of the argument that some people are making. And according to Library of Congress, this is libraryofcongress.gov, this is also further proof that, yes, satire is protected free speech. Okay? Look at this. Publisher Larry Flint provoked a lawsuit for damages for satirizing televangelist Jerry Falwell in a fake Campari ad in Hustler magazine. The U.S. Supreme Court unanimously agreed in the Hustler versus Falwell that a parody, which no reasonable person, look at this, again, that word, reasonable person, which no reasonable person expected to be true, was protected free speech. Okay, the justices also stated that upholding the lower court's decisions would put all political satire at risk. All right, and again, this is political satire, right? I think everyone is going to agree with that. And look at what else has happened from Gavin Newsom, again, getting kind of not attacked, but Elon Musk is really putting his head to the fire here, because Babylon Bee just made this video just an hour ago. They wrote, breaking, the Babylon Bee has obtained this exclusive, official, 100% real Gavin Newsom election ad. Wow. Check this out.
Hi, I'm Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. This is a message for the people of America, given in my authentically recorded, non-AI voice. Thanks to my leadership over the last several years, California has become a world leader in extremist left-wing governance. My policies were so effective that almost 1 million people are now fleeing the state every year. We even ran out of U-Hauls. During the COVID pandemic, I locked everyone in their homes and shut down businesses for months. Not the French Laundry, though. That's my favorite restaurant. Last year, I cleaned up the dangerous, messy streets of San Francisco, because Chinese Communist President Xi was coming, and I really wanted to impress him. He's my boss, after all. This year, I signed legislation that allows me to take custody of your kid if you refuse to give him artificial hormones and chop off his genitals. Because if you don't do that, you're a bigot.
So, yes, I think many people would know that this is a parody. And they're also pretty specific here, right? By saying, and the Babylon Bee is a notoriously, like, it even says fake news right there, right? Like Babylon Bee could not be clearer, although I probably wouldn't have minded if it actually said parody right here. And Elon Musk retweeted this saying, best ad ever. So I have a couple questions, because while I do agree with the fact that it is protected, it should be protected, and obviously I do believe this falls underneath fair use, because people are, yes, they're manipulating it, but it's also transformative. So while I do agree with that, I do think times are changing. Okay. This was from ChatGPT. They were talking about parody and confusion. They wrote, parodies by definition are meant to mock or imitate for comedic or critical purposes. The legal principle behind protecting parody assumes that reasonable people will understand that the work is not the original and is meant to entertain or comment on it. Okay. So while I think that's true, what bothers me about all this, and going back to the beginning, what bothers me about all this is this idea of
Harris and your Democrat
of
candidate.
reasonable people, because all of this happened in, like, all of those laws were created like decades ago, before AI, okay, before this revolutionary tech that actually made things incredibly convincing. Like, whether you could agree with this ad or disagree with this ad, but one thing I think everyone will agree with is the fact that this sounds like Kamala. Okay. That sounds like Kamala. And this ad here sounds like Gavin Newsom. So these laws that were created in, well, like the 1980s, that were created over 50 years ago, I don't think they were anticipating that AI would be able to mimic someone else's voice perfectly to the T. And that's the world that we're living in right now. So my question is it time to change this? Did Gavin Newsom actually make the right decision? Should people be able to knowingly distribute an ad or other election communications that contain materially deceptive content? I don't know, but I do think it's actually appropriate to put walls on this behavior, because when there's no walls, you know what I fear personally? I fear that when my grandma is on Facebook and she's watching something, I fear that the people there don't do a good job of communicating that it's a deepfake, that it's a parody, that it is not real. And people like her who don't really understand tech, they don't really understand how AI is actually so good. They are just, my grandma is not a gullible person. But at the end of the day, she doesn't understand how technology has advanced so far to the point where someone could just manipulate a voice it's not them, but it's their voice. That doesn't make sense. That's a hard for her to understand. And I don't think my grandma is the person who is the anomaly. I actually think my grandma represents the majority of people her age. Whenever they watch something, especially let's say it's on Facebook or it's the news or something, like the news, like I believe it was CNN or Fox News, very recently a they shared a parody deepfake video of Joe Biden dancing. And I think older people might have they might not have understood that that was fake, and they would have accepted it as truth. And that's a problem. So I don't know. I don't know if the answer is to create bans on parody, or I don't know if the answer is to limit this sort of technology, or maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe Gavin Newsom is doing things right. All I know is I fear for the people who share these videos and they don't do a proper job of saying it's a parody. And then that video gets redistributed on other platforms and reshared, and those people also don't say that it's a parody. That's my fear, and I think I think we should limit that. Okay, but what do you think about all that? Okay, I know this is kind of a different video, but I do think this was an important conversation to have. So I think there's two sides that are represented here. There is Elon Musk's side that is entirely pro free speech, and then there's Gavin Newsom's side, who is, yes, we are protecting parody, but we also decide what's parody, and we'll at the end of the day decide if it's appropriate. So I don't know. You let me know what you think about this. This is all still very developing, and obviously I'm still kind of developing my opinion on this. But let me know what you think about this. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all next time. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate your time so much, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to support what we're building here, please like and subscribe. It means a lot and it really helps us out. And if you want to see even more content from me, make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be sharing a lot more on there. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.